What's going on? My name is FreeRunnerX10 and welcome to a brand new video. So in today's video I thought I'd take a look at the possible future for the next shooting test in Fortnite Battle Royale. Now in case you're wondering, Fortnite Battle Royale has had one shooting test prior to any other shooting tests, and this shooting test, which was named shooting test #1, was released on the 2nd of February 2018, and the second shooting test was actually leaked late November of 2017 accidentally. A limited time game mode went live. Essentially, shooting test #1 adds first shot accuracy to the game. You aim down sight, and then when you have first shot accuracy, a red dot will appear in the center of your crosshair, and you can fire a single shot that is 100% accurate, that is unaffected by bloom, a mechanic in the game which is quite frankly very awful. The fact that it exists in the game makes the game very casual, and a lot of people who want to take Fortnite Battle Royale very seriously don't like this mechanic in the game. They put up with the mechanic, but they would not like to see this mechanic in the game forevermore. In case you're wondering what bloom is where you could have a crosshair and you can place that crosshair smack bang on the center of someone's head, and when you fire the bullets can go anywhere in that crosshair. They can go left, they can go right, they can go up, they can go down, they can go anywhere in that crosshair. They are random. Sometimes you could laser someone, sometimes all of your bullets could go completely left and away from the person you're shooting at. And that is frustrating for somebody who wants to get better at the game, play the game competitively. It limits the skill ceiling. Now, there is a counter argument to the limiting of the skill ceiling, and we'll talk about that in a bit more detail later on in the video, but I want to take a look at a Reddit post first. Now, this Reddit post was created by Aero Cross, and I will link it in the description below if you'd like to check out the Reddit post in the comments in their entirety. It is titled "Epic. Too much silence about the shooting test. Say something. Every week is the same, waiting for the new patch, looking at the subreddit, hoping for the announcement of the new shooting test. Instead, we get post after post after post about satisfying shooting mechanics. You've been transparent about everything except this. This is the same sort of silence about the shotgun pellets, which took a major Fortnite streamer to raise awareness, or the double pump fiasco. Just radio silence until enough noise from the community was made. Is it because we're not loud enough? Is it because of the work you've been doing for mobile, which will mean that recall can't be implemented there? Is it that you've given up on the idea? Is it that you've encountered issues? Can you tell us what are your plans at least? Something to hold on to. You have been hinting at this since November, but there has been close to no progress. I struggle to believe that you've disregarded this idea, but it does feel like it. It is disheartening because this is the only thing that Fortnite lacks to be a great game. Just give us something to work with. Now, after this post being up for a couple of hours and getting upvoted to almost the top of the Fortnite BR Reddit, we actually got a response from one of the community managers named as... Okay, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that Reddit name, but essentially his name is Arctic. He states, "Still deciding on subsequent shooting model tests. The plan of record is first shot accuracy going in here soon. Move from there if we need to. If that plan of record changes, we'll make sure to let you know. There have been lots of internal constructive design decisions on the approach and feedback we've received. Lots. We're always weighing how changes like this impact the game, the pace, building, etc. All can have a drastic impact on overall fun. If we find that any of these changes negatively impact the game, we want to act quickly." Now, that's some interesting information coming from one of the community managers. Essentially what they have said is that first shot accuracy, that limited time game mode, is going to be implemented into the game's core mechanics. Whether it will be exactly like it was in the limited time game mode, who knows? Will some of those changes that happened with that limited time game mode also be implemented? Who knows? I guess we'll find out when they actually add it to the game as part of the mechanics. But essentially, my take on that limited time game mode and the first shot accuracy is that you could only really use first shot accuracy in certain situations where you can peek and not get shot for a second and get off an accurate shot before they duck into cover, or you could shoot somebody from behind and then after that they'd just wall up, and in which case you're spraying them with your AR and essentially you're affected by bloom at that point, or you have to push them, outbuild them and play them with a shotgun. And that was pretty much how it was. It's something that has a way of countering bloom, but only in very minute situations that make it pointless. And I feel like first shot accuracy is something that isn't all that great for Fortnite BR. It's still has its problem, which is bloom, and bloom is the biggest problem in Fortnite BR. So does that mean that the shooting test hashtag 2 isn't going to happen? Well, maybe, maybe not. Essentially what they're saying is they're not going to implement any other shooting test as of right now because they don't really know how it's going to impact the game, but I don't see why that matters because it would be its own separate game mode. People can play it, try it out, and get a feeling for it and see whether they like it or not. And then they can make even more decisions based off of the feedback given with that test. Most of the people who play Fortnite, the majority of people are casual players. You only have a very few people who want to take the game seriously, play it competitively, and become the best at the game. And those people are going to be disregarded, I guess, in the sense that if what they do to change the game to make it more skill-based affects their casual audience and makes their casual audience disappear, then it's not going to happen because Epic Games want to make money off this game, and they are making money. This is a very popular game. This is one of the biggest games on Twitch right now. It is a very, very popular Battle Royale game and is getting more publicity than PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. There's a lot of streamers who are playing this. Even the Doc is playing Fortnite regularly compared to PUBG. That says a lot about Fortnite. Fortnite is a very, very popular game, and so it is appealing to a lot of people, and if the casual audience is where they want to go, that's where they're going to go. And I don't like the idea of that, but it is how it is. So yeah, as it stands right now, shooting test hashtag 1 is going to be implemented into the game as a standard mechanic. It's going to become part of the game, which I think is okay. It's a new way of improving the game, but at the same time it doesn't completely improve the game and reduce bloom or remove bloom completely. It is a very situational mechanic that will help you out in a certain situation or certain situations depending on the skill of the players that you're facing up against, which is obviously unpredictable until you get into an engagement with them. Now, a lot of people have been suggesting that this is down to obviously the fact that there's cross-platform play. How do you implement recoil into Fortnite without it affecting console, and how do you implement it without aim assist countering the recoil? How do you implement it on a mobile device? Obviously mobile is very hard to play on. If you're playing on mobile, it's very hard to actually get mechanics down, especially if you're actually using the mobile itself, as in you're using the default control scheme, which is actually using the mobile's touchscreen. That's going to be hard to counter recoil when you're playing on mobile. Now that they have the mobile version, I'm definitely certain that shooting test hashtag 2 won't ever happen. Nothing's going to be as close to shooting test hashtag 2. However, my suggestion is for the PC players who want this feature, maybe add a separate competitive playlist. I know I've heard a lot of streamers talking about having a competitive playlist where there are certain game modes, and those game modes have a ranked based elo system. That would be pretty interesting to see, but at the same time that playlist has a different gun mechanic, which is, I guess, tailored to what people want to play as a competitive format. And I feel like that would work. Now, there's a couple of downsides to having a competitive playlist within Fortnite. You split the player base on PC, but also at the same time, if the mechanics are different in the casual version of the game compared to this competitive playlist, what you have is a competitive playlist where you can't really practice for it. You may have played hours of Fortnite, but if those mechanics are different, it's going to be a learning experience, meaning you're not going to be playing at the level you probably want to play at, but I guess you could always improve with time. But there are two sort of drawbacks to that feature. Do console players lose out on this? Yes, they do, but I guess if they want it, there'd have to be a big enough outcry for it to be implemented onto console. Mobile, I guess, suffers here because they won't be able to use this thing because, again, recoil, it would be hard to control on a mobile game. Maybe they have aim assist and maybe that counters it, but I don't see that happening. So I hope that at some point we get some more information regarding this, hopefully when they release this shooting test hashtag 1 as part of an update that is added to the game's core mechanics, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm still holding out hope. I love Fortnite. I'm playing Fortnite all the time. It's my go-to game at the moment, the main game I'm playing. And so hopefully at some point there is going to be some kind of skill-based gunplay, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Still, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did in fact enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like. Unfortunately, if you didn't enjoy this video, there's always a dislike button. And as always, if you'd like to see more content like this or more content by me, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.